What's up, you guys? My name is Quinn.
And I'm Aranda.
And I'm Talia.
And you're watching Zodiac Mondayz
with Let Us Live magazine. What's up, you guys? My name is Quinn, and welcome to Zodiac Mondayz. Thank you guys for tuning in again with us today. And I'm one of your hosts for today, and I have my other co-host right here, Aranda.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in.
And we have our special guest today.
Hola.
And if you don't mind, you can introduce yourself to us today.
Okay, yeah. Well, y'all, I already introduced myself to y'all.
Right, to our audience.
My name is Talia, aka TheClosetRatchet. I am an influencer / businesswoman here in Atlanta.
Cool. Well, we're glad to have you here with us today.
We are.
And as you guys know, we are here, we talk about astrology, the zodiac signs, just having a good time with it.
Right.
And we, like I said, thank you guys again for tuning in with us today. I guess we'll start off basically with an overview of our week, how our week went. Aranda, would you like to start off with that?
I will. Well, my week was interesting. It was productive, but I will say I hit a bump in the road at my 9 to 5. Unfortunately, and and sometimes, especially when stuff happens at your 9 to 5, and you want to be independent, it can really get to you, especially me. So I'm a Libra. If you guys do not know, just to let you know what my sign is. But when I hit that bump in the road, I know for like Libras, we take a lot of things to heart, especially if it's not fair. So I feel as though something happened to me at work and it wasn't fair, so it bothered me. But I got through it ultimately. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess for myself, I had a pretty good week as well. I'm a Scorpio, as I told you guys on the first episode. I'm a Scorpio, and so a lot of my issues come from my emotions. I'm very emotion driven. So anything that'll spark any type of emotion out of me, it's going downhill from there. So I'm learning how to control that. But I had a pretty good week this week. Other than that, it was pretty good. And I forgot to ask you what your zodiac sign was earlier.
So my sun sign is Cancer.
Okay, your sun sign is Cancer.
Yes, that's my sign.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So what is your rising and your moon sign?
Okay, do y'all know your big three? Well, I guess
I do.
Part of yours that
I do. Yes.
My moon is Aquarius, and I'm a Gemini rising.
Okay. So let our audience know, like, what is the difference between a sun sign, a rising sign, and a moon sign?
So I would say your sun sign is like your personality type. Everyone reads horoscopes, like basic zodiac horoscopes, and it's mostly describing people's their personality, just how they are when they're around people. But your moon sign is really how you process your emotions, like your emotional side, your shadow side. There's the dark side of the moon. It's like what's really going on with your emotions. And then your rising sign, I would say, is who you really are at your core and who people perceive you to be.
Right.
Gotcha. That is so cool. And I like that you mentioned about the dark side of the moon, because a lot of people, they run from the dark side, but we have to embrace all sides in order for us to be whole. You have to embrace your shadow side. If you don't know who you are, what can you do?
Right.
Yeah.
We all have to embrace our shadow side. So that is so wonderful.
That's a really big thing with Scorpios too. Like shadow work. They say Scorpios live in their shadows.
So both of y'all are what? Water signs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have that in common. So that makes sense that y'all both feel that.
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm glad everybody had a good week. Everybody had a good week. So I guess we're gonna go right into our first segment. Basically, we're gonna be talking about the weekly forecast. So we're gonna be doing a weekly forecast for you guys every week, and I'm going to be doing water and earth signs. And my friend over here, my co-host, is going to be doing air signs. All right, and fire signs. So, would you like to start, or you want me to go first?
You already know what I'm gonna say as a Libra. You got it.
All right, so I'll start off with water signs. So water signs, the Cancer, Scorpios, and Pisces. So we are so emotional. I think a lot of the things that we go through in life, as far as water signs, deal with our emotions, and one of our big tasks is to learn how to handle our emotions. We're so emotional driven. This week, the water signs, we should be having a good week at the beginning of the week. Hanging out with friends and things like that should be fun. And if you do find yourself in like an intense moment where your emotions are taking over you, try to channel your emotions into something else. And what I mean by that is transmuting that energy. So when you do find yourself very emotional, because I know for me, I respond emotionally. So I throw logic all out the window. And so I have to, when I'm in a situation, I have to tell myself, okay, stop, let the situation happen. I can come back to it so that I won't respond out of emotion. And then if I am intense or tense about a situation that's out of my control, transmute that energy into something creative. So if you are feeling tense or anything like that, do something creative, whatever it is that you do, music, go for a walk, just transmuting that negative energy into something good. And a lot of people, and it's very dangerous, to me it's very dangerous, because I noticed that a lot of people, what we tend to do is, instead of transmuting that negative energy into something like meditating or something like that, we use other humans. So we take our feelings, or if we're feeling negative about something or our emotions, we take them out on other humans, basically transmuting our negative energy to another human, and we're actually using humans as tools instead of using the actual tools that we should be using. Right. So, water signs, be careful with that. You should be good by the end of the week. Like I said, don't allow your emotions to knock you off your feet. And you know, by the end of the week, you should be starting to recognize how your emotions are sort of triggering you. Just start, every time that you feel yourself getting ready to respond emotionally to situations or anything like that, make a mental note of it, or you can even write it down. Just make a mental note of yourself, hey, I'm about to start responding emotionally. And by the end of the week, you should be catching yourself and realizing that. And once you start catching yourself responding emotionally and you conquer that, you'll be able to, you know, focus on other things. Because once you get like so deep in your emotions, you can just sit there. And I know for myself, if I'm feeling emotional about something, I'll go that whole day emotional about that one thing, and I have dropped the ball on 10 million other things that I'm supposed to have been doing today because I'm just out of whack because of that one thing.
Right.
So that's my forecast for the water signs for this coming up week. You want me to go next again, or you want to?
We can switch it up, so you do one, I do that.
That's cool. But do you have anything to add on, or because I know you're a Cancer, and so I know I'm not sure how you deal with your emotions or anything like that, or if you even have like any. Because I know I like to say passionate, but everybody say you're emotional. But
that's like where the moon signs come in. Mm-hmm. So even though I'm a Cancer sun, people love to call Cancers crybabies. I'm not a crybaby.
Emotional.
No, everybody's emotional, but I'm not emotional like that. Like I have an Aquarius moon, so I'm real cool, calm, and collected with my shit, and I prefer to deal with it on my own.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because I don't want to project onto anyone. Like that's something that I've had to be really cognizant of over the years. Because, like I'm working with a little bit of Ashe over here. Like I began to notice like the air in the room will shift when I have you know, I'm going through a particular thing and I feel a certain type of way. And I would notice how people would respond to how I was influencing the energy in the room.
Right.
It's really like I'm very mindful of that now.
And that's good.
It's crazy that you said that because digging, as I've been digging into the different zodiac signs, Cancers, you know, you guys start the season off. Yeah. So you guys have a lot of emotional power, like how you said, how your energy can shift the whole room. You guys, you guys have a lot of emotional power to start emotional feelings. So it's like, I can honestly see how that can happen. Like seriously, I can honestly see how that can happen. Yeah. That is wonderful. That is good.
Alright, so I'll get on the forecast for the air signs first. Cool. I did mine a little different, y'all. So really I just want to point out some key factors about air signs. And I'm going to start out for one saying that our air signs are our Libras, our Aquarius, and they are our Libras, Aquarius, and Geminis. Okay, so these signs were very action driven, okay? We come up with ideas all the time, and we're all about motion. So even when we step into the room, we're a breath of fresh air, okay? We don't like to stay stagnant in certain things. So really, what I want to say to all my air signs this week is just go for what you want to go for. Don't overthink, because I know one thing about me as being a Libra is I overthink a lot of things. So just go after whatever goal you've been setting. Just do your thing this week. And that's really what I got to say for the air signs. Just a little pep talk.
Right,
Yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah, for sure.
So air signs get into Gemini. So you guys know what Mercury retrograde is, right?
Yes.
Now break it down to me and for our audience.
So Mercury retrograde is, well, it's a phenomenon, I guess. When, you know, the planet it's not really spinning backwards, it just appears to be. It's kind of like when you're in a subway and you walk past a train, and like the train, it looks like you're moving backwards, but you're not. It just that's like what retrograde is.
Okay.
So, you know, Mercury rules communication, and its home sign is Gemini, which is an air sign. Right. So, remember, I was talking, before we started recording today, we were talking a little bit about the election. Right. And how Mercury actually stationed on election day, which means it came out of retrograde. So it was very interesting that they chose for the election, like the election to start on that day. Like it's just Mercury ruling communication and coming out of retrograde. In Scorpio, that's just, it spells confusion.
Yes.
Right.
Scorpio, Scorpio is
there's a lot of change going on, stirring up all that.
Hidden things done, things done in secret, and that's what Scorpio
the depth to a lot of things.
Yes.
Depth to a lot of ideas. And it's crazy because a lot of people get so uptight when you say depth, and they're like, ooh. And it's not a bad thing all the time. You have to have depth in order to have life.
It's actually a beautiful thing.
It's actually a beautiful thing. It's depth to like old habits, old bad habits, depth to old ways of thinking and things like that. You have to have that. And one of my things when I was learning about myself as a Scorpio, one of the I guess the phenomena that they attribute to Scorpios is like hurricanes and tornadoes and things like that. And when you think about it, with a tornado, it destroys things, but it's actually displacing things. So it's moving things out of the way so something else can be grown in that space. So if I tore this house down, you're not going to build a house worse than the house that was already there. You're going to build a house that was better. So it's like you have to, and it's, I guess because I am a Scorpio, it's easy for me to embrace things happening. So And it's when I pledged my iota phi theta, and when I pledged, my line name was willpower.
Wow.
Because it was like, no, they couldn't really, they tried to break me, but it was like, I just stood there, I can just take a lot. I can really take a lot. And it's, I don't know, but that comes a lot with what you said with the Mercury retrograde and it being Scorpio season and all of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of change going on,
And astrology is so deep.
Yeah.
It's so deep. We need it to operate. That's why we need to understand it. And that's why we are bringing you guys this show. Okay, so we want to entertain you, but we also want to put you up on game. I'm learning something every day. I'm learning something from our host today. So appreciate you for coming. So make sure you guys just continue to tune in with us because you never know what you're going to learn. All right?
Like a box of chocolate.
Right. A big box of chocolate.
So as far as sun signs go, as you being a Cancer, who do you mesh with?
I mesh with Pisces, of course. Like my best friend is a Pisces. We've been friends since we were 12. Another one of my friends, Talia, she's a Scorpio. But yeah, I get along with Gemini. I would say I attract Geminis and Aquarius the most.
Is it because they're a part of you?
Yes. Yes, and it was not that way all the time. Like see, this is one of the things that kind of sparked my interest in astrology. I've always read up on horoscopes and things literally since I was a little kid because I grew up in church. And the more I went to church, the less religious I got, the more spiritual I got. Because I had questions that these niggas didn't know the answers to. They were shook. They didn't know. Because, I mean, they had subscribed to one religious construct and didn't bother with the whole spirituality aspect. But I had an open mind. I've always read about horoscopes and things. But the thing that really made me sit down and be like, what is going on, is when I kept dating Aquariuses. If you've ever dated an Aquarius, you know, like, that is not an easy sign to, like, those people they on some other shit. Break your heart and keep it moving. But it's crazy.
You had one too? But that's probably just because y'all don't mesh with Aquarius.
No. So all three of my exes are Aquariuses. After the third one, I was like, why do I keep attracting all these Aquariuses? And that was the first time I had looked at my actual birth chart and realized that I had planets and shit in Aquarius. I have Moon, Saturn, Lilith, and like some other stuff. I also, like, Leos are another sign that I never really meshed well with. I also have a stellium in Leo. My Mercury, which is how I communicate and everything, is in Leo. And my third house, which is the home of Mercury.
See, we gotta have a segment on houses.
Yeah.
Because I'm new to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard it all the time, but I haven't really gotten into it. But I would love to get into it because it matters.
The rabbit hole.
It matters.
It's so deep, right?
Yeah,
it's so
it
deep.
matters.
It's so deep. It's so deep.
But basically, I've learned that I had all of these planets and everything in the signs that I was getting along with the least. And so that's when I started doing some shadow work. I started healing and started really breaking down why I'm attracting these people, like what's going on. So yeah.
And I commend you for actually looking into it and trying to figure out why. Because you know, a lot of people be like, why this and why that? Why don't we work well together? Even when we do have, you know, our signs are supposed to match and stuff like that. Like, you know, just knowing those differences. And sometimes you even learn how to treat a person off of their astrology. You know, how to work with it, how to deal with them. Like, I know our signs don't match, so we ain't gonna hang like that. You cool on, you know what I'm saying, for certain reasons, but you know, I just know how to deal with you. So yeah, that's why.
And I think, like you said, it's so important to do the shadow work. I think if you're not doing shadow work.
So what is shadow work? I'm sorry not to interrupt you.
No, you good. So basically, shadow work is embracing what a lot of people think as the negative aspects of yourself. So if you know that you respond in a certain way to a certain situation, become okay with your response And then once you become okay with your response, you'll know how to deal with that response. So it's like you have to be aware, and I think that is more or less the big base behind shadow work, is being aware of what a lot of people might consider the negative aspects about yourself, so that you will know how to handle yourself in certain situations, and you know how to be nicer to yourself.
Right.
I think if you're not doing shadow work, you're basically out here just self-sabotaging.
Right.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
For sure.
And it's like I know that I do that. Even in my past relationships, I would be with somebody for like 6 months, and then I'd be like,
Yeah.
But, right, but it's like that Scorpio energy, like, and it's like that change in me is I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to do that shadow work. So I had to recognize it with myself and have to understand, okay, next time that you are in a relationship, be comfortable with working through the relationship and not, just going on about your business once you feel a little ruffled, once you feel a little tense,
With the fight or flight.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
So that's basically shadow work.
Right.
You gotta do the shadow work. You gotta look at yourself. Before we move on, I know we got 2 more forecasts to do. I'm gonna do the Earth signs next. So with the Earth signs, we have Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns. And you guys attach yourself to the physical world. You guys are very physical. You guys bring things to the physical realm of life. In the beginning of you guys this week, everything should be going good with you guys as well. A lot of times with Earth signs, you guys attach yourselves to routine. So with you guys, if you are feeling any tension or going through any tension this week, learn how to let go of routine and do something that is what's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneous. Yeah, do something spontaneous. So do something spontaneous this week. Don't get so attached to routine. I know, and a lot of things that you guys can do is dance, because I know dance is something that's sort of freeing, and it allows you to be more, I guess, free and loose moving. So if you guys are feeling any tension this week, try to recognize if it is coming from a routine that you guys stuck in. So if you are going through something and it's routine, like, write it down, recognize it, and it's like shadow work, recognizing where your shortcomings are. So with that, also you guys, by the end of the week, with the Earth signs, you guys can also let's see here, do some things that relax you. So whatever physical activity that you guys can think of that relaxes you, as far as maybe yoga or taking a run. I like to work out, and a lot of people don't think working out can relax you, but it relaxes you. It really relaxes you. You be tired at the end, but it does relax you. So I like to work out. So like I said, because you guys are Earth signs and you guys do dwell in the physical realm, if you do feel that tension, to help you guys transmute that energy or that negative energy that you might be feeling, try to do some type of physical activity, and try to make it something random or spontaneous that's out of routine for you. And that is my forecast for the Earth signs for this coming up week.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the fire signs, and once again, mine is a little different. Okay, so it might be like a little pep talk for y'all. But we're gonna talk about the fire signs. So the fire signs are Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. Okay, so for you guys, some key pointers. A lot of y'all are passionate, and some may see you as temperamental. Okay, a lot of these fire signs that I know, y'all about y'all business. Okay, and y'all are very talented. very talented. Every fire sign I've met is talented, right? So, and that might be a reason, that's where the passion comes in, okay? So just make sure this week, if it's something you're passionate about, don't let your anger get the best of you, because you can be temperamental. Just, try your best to stay positive. And once again, for you guys, go after what y'all know.
I love that. I like fire signs.
Yeah, I do too.
I love fire signs because fire signs have something that I think that a lot of water signs lack. Fire signs have that they have that warrior spirit.
They really do.
They have that warrior spirit.
Yeah.
Us water signs, we're so emotional. We're so so giddy sometimes that it's like we lose that fighter warrior spirit. And it's like I admire fire signs for that, because they have that warrior spirit. Like, you're not gonna, with water signs, you might not know that you offended us. A fire sign, you're gonna know that you offended a fire sign. A water sign, we gonna get you, but it's gonna be in a subtle way.
Right. I wonder if
fire signs, they're gonna get you right in your face, right there. Yeah.
I wonder if that's why y'all are so good with earth signs. Like, I guess because they're grounded. You know what I'm saying? And y'all are so emotional, y'all kind of need a grounded person. Because I know for me, if I'm dealing with with a water sign with the emotion stuff, I can be like, it can seem like I have that I don't give a attitude, but it's just like, come on now, like,
Exactly.
But yeah, so yeah.
It's like, did I do something wrong, or you just offended?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Your interpretation.
Exactly.
And you know what? Another thing, I know we gotta go on, but another thing that you reminded me of is a lot of times in relationships, and I'm not sure if this has anything to do with it, but I was watching something and they were describing how if you are in a relationship and you are having a disagreement or something like that, sometimes just because of different personalities, I might be someone that might have might be a fire sign, and I might have that personality where I'm like, let's talk it out right here, right now.
Yes.
Otherwise, as a Scorpio or a Cancer or a Pisces, a water sign, we might want to retreat first and then come back and have that conversation. And it's like, if you can picture it in your head, a disagreement between a fire sign and a water sign, you can picture like a water sign walking away and the fire sign behind them.
Exactly. That's real. That's real.
And it's so funny that you said that. That's what came to my mind, like a water sign walking away, trying to run from it, because we're so in our emotions, we run from it, and we want to give us a little time to think about it. And the fire sign, so that is crazy. That is so funny. All right.
So is there anything that you want to touch on for your viewers before we leave?
I don't know. Was there anything I wanted to know?
Well, we do got another segment here for the entertainment.
Yeah.
So we do have an entertainment segment where we do want to talk to you guys and make it a little fun and talk about some things that's going on in the entertainment world, and bring an astrological aspect to it. And if you guys have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, just DM us at LUL Magazine 13 on Instagram and let us know your questions, okay? So I guess one of the big topics, we sort of touched on it earlier, is the whole election.
Right. Yes.
And I know everybody has been talking about it. It has been draining for everybody. I know for myself, I personally clocked out. And it's like I've been clocked out for a while. I clocked out as soon as Donald Trump became president. And so I haven't been into politics in years at this point, for the past 4 years, because I clocked, because to me, once Donald Trump became president, to me it sort of became a joke.
And guess what his sign is?
He's a Gemini.
Yeah.
He's a Gemini. He's a Gemini.
I was about to go back into the rebel.
Right. Nothing against Gemini. I have a love. I love a Gemini. It's just, it's a lot of them, baby.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them.
For me, it was just, I don't know. For me, it became a joke. Because when you think about it, it's like people who, from a child, from like very, very little, work and dream their whole life of becoming like president, like, and became senators, like they have followed the chain of command, like
right.
You can't become a president till you like 40 or 50 some years old because of all the things, all the levels that you have to go through to even be recognized or even be considered to be president of the United States. Right. So for him to be able to just skip all the 30, 40 years that everybody else have to go through to become, it was just a lot for me.
It's really crazy.
It is.
In the first place.
And he is a Gemini, and they are air signs, I believe, as well. So they are communicators. He knows how to communicate. He probably can talk his way. Yes, he probably can talk his way through anything.
Yes, for sure. I know Biden is a Scorpio.
Yes.
Kamala Harris, she's a Libra. So I'm just saying, she might do a little something and everything. But yeah, that's an interesting dynamic too. A Scorpio working with a Libra. So
it's very interesting. And one thing that I can go ahead and tell y'all, Biden is not gonna do anything that Biden does. It's gonna be because he wanted to do it.
Oh,
I feel that
Scorpios are not gonna do anything that they don't want to do.
He has so much stuff lined up. And I really feel like he's actually going to do it. He has a lot of executive orders, like canceling the first $50,000 in student debt, stimulus packages, things like that. Like he's got a whole, like it's on the little website.
And we need that. We need that student debt canceled.
They need to cancel all debt.
They need to cancel
that.
They need to cancel that student debt.
I don't understand that. Like,
me either.
Being trillions of dollars in debt, like
Right, exactly.
Right, exactly. Fresh slate.
So, I guess I could bring this up as well since we on that topic of the election. So I'm not sure if you guys dive deep in this area, but they are. The thing is, they're saying that basically this year is the basically the end. That's what they're saying, because this year is supposed to represent 2012 and like the Mayan calendar and the Aztec calendar and the different calendars in Africa and stuff like that from our ancestors and things like that. Right. So how do you guys feel about that? And for me, I guess I'm asking you guys how you feel and then start talking. But I do know that we are entering a new age. We're entering the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we are entering the age.
For sure. The information age.
Yes, the information age.
I'm so hyped.
And I'm so hyped as well because it is everything, and it's happening right before our eyes. Like all these celebrities are being exposed. There's so much that's being exposed right now because we are entering the information age. And you can see a definite divide between people who are waking up and receiving the information and people who don't want to receive the information. Yeah. They're right there.
Even us having this show. You get what I'm saying? Talking about zodiacs, like that we're literally moving with that age. We're moving with that age of Aquarius.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're not gonna do anything but give out that information and enlighten people. And we all need it. We all need it. So we're definitely, I'm happy that we're here because we're definitely in tune with where we're supposed to be going. So that makes me feel good right there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You want a little planet lesson?
Yeah. Come on, give it to us.
So we're definitely going through a breakdown just to build up. So what happened, I think it happened this week actually. There's something called the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. And it's where, like a conjunction, I think is when planets are 90 degrees from each other, or I can't remember.
I think it is 90 degrees.
But conjunction means they work together, generally work together. Pluto, you know, is death, rebirth, destruction, rebuild.
Scorpios.
Jupiter rules expansion, increase. Usually like with finances, but like Jupiter just generally rules increase and things like that.
I was gonna feel that.
So with Jupiter and Pluto coming together, an increase in destruction,
Yes.
increase in building back up. So, and then with us entering the Aquarian age, you know, Saturn, there's a Saturn, I think it's Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. And again, Saturn rules increase, expansion. Saturn is Father Time, ruler of karmic debt. And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, so is Capricorn. So with Saturn and Jupiter, they're going to have a conjunction December 14th, I think. And that's like a really auspicious time. Like it's going to be just an increase in information, increase in access to information, things like that. So, you know, with this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that is currently happening, actually happened, this is the third time it's happened this year, which is not, you know, that doesn't happen very often. Saturn-Pluto conjunctions only happen once every like 45 years or so. It's very auspicious.
Right.
So, yeah.
So that's what we know. We know right now everything may feel uneasy, but we know it's happening for a reason.
Right.
It's right on time. So people don't be panicking and stuff like, no, they're supposed to be going through what we're going through.
Right.
And it's a good thing. I'm happy to be alive right now. I know days I'm like, like COVID.
Right.
This year has like been the best year.
It's been a good year though, right?
If you've been doing the work,
yes.
It's a great year.
Anybody that is willing to embrace change, this year has been amazing for you.
Yes.
If you're not afraid to look at the dark side of yourself, this year has been amazing for you.
Yes.
You have to be able to embrace change.
Yes.
And if you don't want to, it's
Obama was trying to tell y'all change is coming on the way. Might not have been with his presidency, but change. Like he was the leader of the free world for 8 years. His whole MO was change. He was telling y'all, it's coming after me.
Right, like change is coming.
Yes.
Change is coming.
The universe been telling y'all.
And it's like, for me, it's one lesson that I know I've learned is resistance makes stronger. So it's like, if you out here trying to control things that you can't control and you're not embracing change, the harder you resist, the stronger it's gonna be for you. The harder it's gonna be for you to even, you know, go through what you're going through, because you're gonna go through it. You're gonna go through it. So it's like, why resist? You're gonna go through it. You're definitely gonna go through it. And also I want to piggyback off of you as well. You know, a lot of the planets were in retrograde at the exact same time during Scorpio season. So, and I think that hasn't happened in like hundreds and hundreds of years.
It's been a lot.
So it's been a lot as far as astrologically. All the astrological phenomena that have been happening this year, it has been a lot. And it's not for no coincidence. And it's not a coincidence that everything that has been going on with the election has been happening.
Right, exactly.
So
they plan that shit.
Right.
Sorry, I'm cussing. These people plan these events. They plan world events around these astrological phenomena. Like they literally do. And I tell people all the time, like you can sit here and think that it's, you know, creepy, playing with demons and witchcraft, which is not. Like the planets, everything in the universe is older than us. We are of the universe. If people will sit here and accept the Big Bang Theory, like boom, something just happened and we're all here, don't you think we're made of the same stuff as the universe?
Right.
Wouldn't you think that the orbits of the planets affect us? Wouldn't you think being born at certain times of the year affect us? I need people to be more open-minded and really think about what is going on. Like, it's nothing to be scared about. There are people utilizing these tools that are older than us to influence you. And you can sit here and be scared of it, or you can learn it. You know, fight fire with fire.
Learn it.
And I always, and I know we, before we go to the next topic in the entertainment, I do want to piggyback off you again because I love your energy. I love it.
I'm so hyped right now. Like,
I love this. I love this conversation because it's. I'll say this: your vibe attracts your tribe, and so it's amazing that we're all here right now together. But to piggyback off you, I always tell people because I grew up Christian, and it's like. I'm not gonna say I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, so I take things from everything that apply to my life, and I use things. So I still use things. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a born again Christian. No, I'm not gonna sit here and say that. I can take things from, and that's what we are because we're multidimensional beings. Right. So. One thing that I always, because a lot of religious people always, like you said, want to say witchcraft and things like that. I always tell them on first Sunday, when you eat a cracker in the place of flesh and when you drink wine in the place of blood, that's one hell of a ritual.
It's a ritual.
So it's like you really have to think about it.
That is it.
Celebrating birthday every year is a ritual.
Right.
Weddings are rituals.
Right,
like,
you really have to think about it. You really have to think about it.
Graduations are rituals. Everything is a ritual. It just don't look like how it does in Disney. So everything you do is a ritual. Getting up every morning, going to the gym, going to work, coming back home. That's a ritual.
It's a ritual. So, all right, next on our topic for our entertainment, I have down Future. So, Mr. Future is what brought me to his attention. What brought his attention to me, I don't know which way it goes. But anyway, what made me notice him was that I guess recently I guess one of his baby mamas was trying to get child support and all of that. So Future went out and was like, all his jewelry is fake because she has the lawyers on him right now trying to get child support. So he made a post saying that all his jewelry is fake. Then I think she sent her lawyers to get information about his home. Once they, her lawyers got the information about his home, they found out that his home is in his mom's and his sister's name. Oh. So I'm like, really? Bruh knows what he's doing. This is baby number 500. So
for sure.
He know what he's doing, and it's like, but he's that Scorpio.
But you know what too, but a lot of their jewelry is owned by the record label too. So what if his jewelry is fake?
Right.
He might got that, and he might be telling the truth.
I actually just saw an interview with Ocho Cinco the other day. He has this podcast. I can't even remember what it's called. But he was talking about how when he first got in the league, he was so cheap. He did not buy real jewelry. All his jewelry was fake. All of his, he drove a really basic car, like a Honda or something. He was like, the women are going to come anyway. They expect me to have this stuff. Why do I need to spend money on real jewelry?
That is smart.
So a lot of people, I suspect more
people, of course.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny because he is a Scorpio. And it made me think about, like, his deal with women. And I know, like, a lot of men, it's like, hey, if you're being honest with a person and saying, I don't want to settle down, they still decide to deal with you or whatever, and y'all end up having a baby.
That's on them.
That's on y'all. Yeah. But at the same time, I know with the Scorpios, like me, I went, and I'm telling you guys, I'm in my 30s. I went my whole life up until I'm well in, I ain't gonna say well in my 30s, but I'm in my early 30s. But I went my whole life, and I'm telling you guys, I've never had a relationship that went past 6 months. That was like just, because it's like cause we're so emotional, and it's like once we get attached emotionally and we're vulnerable with you, because our power lies in our vulnerability, and it's like we're vulnerable with you, and we feel any type of apprehensiveness. It's like you said, that fight or flight. It's like we out of there. We out of there. Peace. So that was very interesting there with Mr. Future.
So it makes sense to you.
Yeah, so it does make sense to me that
you understand Future on a different level than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I understand him on a different level. Right. Right. Next we have Mr. Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought Mr. Chris Brown up because he's out here on OnlyFans now.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, what?
So I don't know.
He's a Taurus, right?
Yes, he's a Taurus. Yes. So Mr. Chris Brown is out here on OnlyFans. And from my understanding, as far as Tauruses, and it's a shock to me that Chris Brown got an OnlyFans, because I'm like, Chris Brown, to me, I guess maybe I hold him to a higher standard than he might hold himself. So, but to me, you're at a higher standard than to be on OnlyFans, and it's like not to demean anybody or anybody else that's on OnlyFans, but it's, to me, you're at a higher standard. But I do know that Tauruses, they attach to material things.
Mm-hmm.
So being with that, I know that during the quarantine, a lot of artists cannot make that money from the shows they used to do, and I know that they made a bulk of their money from the shows.
For sure.
So it's like a lot of these artists, okay, I have a big mansion, I'm not having that money flow no more.
Right.
So it's like
doing what you gotta do.
I'm doing what I gotta do
Yeah.
to keep my mansion.
Yeah.
So
But it's like
OnlyFans it is.
They
And
go
I'm like,
through all that money. It's like you gotta save up for times like this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta save up for times like this, man.
Right. But but like you said, you gotta save up for things like that. And it's like when you do acquire a lot of things and you acquire like mansions and things like that, you will drive yourself crazy trying to keep those things. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to keep those things. And through my experience, one thing that I learned how to do and I had to do was I had to kill my vision of myself, because I created this vision of myself for everybody else to see, and once I wasn't able to keep up this vision and I had to change or maybe step down to something else, it was hard for me. And I'm pretty sure
That ego death.
it was the ego death. And I'm pretty sure nobody else even gave 2 cares about what I was going through or how my life had changed. But for me, it was like an ego death. It was like I had been this for so long, and having to go down to doing something else, it was an ego death. And I think that's what a lot of artists go through. I think a lot of artists get mansions and things like that, and once they're not able to sustain it, they drive themselves crazy because they're thinking of it for themselves as far as the ego death.
Right.
And Mr. Chris Brown here, he's holding on. He's not letting his ego die. He's gonna do his own thing.
Right.
To keep that.
And you know folks gonna do
money
that.
flow.
You know they gonna pay. You know they gonna pay.
Yeah.
You know, Tauruses, you were talking about how Taurus is like extravagant things. Taurus and Libra is ruled by Venus. You know, Venus is all, goddess of love and things like that.
Extravagant.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
Like for myself, I'm not materialistic at all, but I like nice things, and I like looking nice. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not like, oh yeah, I gotta have the best whip, my crib gotta be the best. I'm not into all that, because I don't even like the center of attention. So I really just, it's low key, but it's
attention.
no.
You like attention?
No. I'm too shy for that. So yeah. But I'm smooth now. Don't get it twisted. I'm smooth, but you gotta get to know me first.
I mean, if we still good on timing, I got one more in our entertainment segment, and I want to talk about Dr. Dre and his wife. Dr. Dre is an Aquarius, and his wife is a Capricorn.
that don't even mesh at all.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Why she going after bad? Why she going after bad like that?
You know, in tarot and like astrology, Capricorn is represents Satan. Like they say, like Capricorn. I don't know any evil Capricorns, but like I could be seeing when their little devilish side comes out.
Yes, I've seen that
They
too.
really can't, like they can be really evil.
Yeah, really can.
And I mean, and like you said, we are. It is like, and then I guess because she's a female, I know a lot of females can be calculated.
Yeah.
And so it's like you really are seeing it because to me, I don't see him coming out with multiple suits or anything like that. But she is hitting him week after week
with something new.
She got a new suit
every
week, and I don't know what he did to her.
Yeah.
Throughout, I think they were married for like 24 years.
I'm sure he did something. He done did something.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm
it's like,
for that bag.
listen, she like, I'm coming for that bag.
Right.
She needs to be careful though. Because remember I told you Aquarius and Capricorn are ruled by Saturn. But Saturn is like at home in Capricorn. And so, like, the thing with Capricorn, like Scorpios, y'all, I would say the two signs who are really like forged in the fire, y'all are constantly going through shit. With Scorpio and the whole, like, Plutonian thing, death and rebirth, Capricorn is really just like, consistent karmic lessons. So, like, she needs to be careful. If she's doing it just to be petty, that's just gonna come back on her.
Right, it will.
But at the same time, Dr. J is probably getting karma because, like, we can tell. We've heard how he's been with women in the past. We can only imagine what she has just decided to deal with.
24 years.
Yeah, so
for 24 years. And to me, it's not a coincidence that I think their youngest child now is like 20 or 21. So it's not a coincidence that she might have waited till her children were good and out the house and gone. Now finna hit you. You know.
She's probably strategic. And she probably knows.
She probably gonna win most of those. They both need to be careful.
Yes, they both need to be careful. So that concludes the entertainment segment. And I guess before we leave, I guess our last segment is going to be our love compatibility segment. We're basically just talking about how we feel, I guess, in our love life. And I'm currently in a relationship and I'm dating a Cancer. And like I said last week on episode last week, I enjoy it. He holds his emotions in. So that is the only thing for me. He does hold his emotions in, and when he expresses them, it's like because he holds them in, when he's expressing them, he's expressing all of them.
All of them, yeah.
And it's like I'm like, it's like he's so emotional. And he's such a sweetheart. He'll do anything for anybody, but he has that crab shell.
You know what'll help? I'm feeling this intuitively. You should, like, when y'all are, doing it, you should, like, speak affirmatively to him while you are. Because that just means he's not comfortable. With expressing. But if you're like, I don't know what your, like, what you, depending on, what you do, why doing it, look at his eyes and tell him how handsome he is and how you're happy to be with him and things like that. Make him feel secure and he'll open up to you more.
Got you.
That's a good ad right there.
Hey.
You gotta do it when they're vulnerable. Like, do it when y'all looking up.
It's the crazy thing is I noticed that he's gonna kill me. He watched this. But the crazy thing is I noticed that he is more vulnerable and more emotional when we are in those type of situations and like sexual situations, he's like silly putty in my hand.
Ooh. Yeah. That sounds right.
But yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was a good bit of advice right there.
I love that.
Maybe you have some advice for me. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
what's your situation?
No, I really don't.
Right.
I really don't have. Right, exactly. I'm happy you're here. No, but my situation is a situationship. So, but I honestly I don't want to go too into it. Okay. But technically I am single, and right now I'm just trying to focus on getting to that next level in life right now. So yeah, I'm not really talking to nobody. I'm good. I'm actually good on that. Right.
I remember last episode you were saying that Libras had commitment issues.
No, look, it just take the right. It take the right one. It take the right one. Yeah.
Take the right one.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Single as hell. I'm not single. Well, I am single, but like not single as hell. Like I'm not in detriment for being single.
Right.
I'm not. Right. But I am like I want to be in a relationship, so that's like I'm just prepared and doing what I need to be doing.
Right. Make sure you good before it starts. Before that situation happens.
No, that's a situation.
Well, that
right, real
relationship.
thing. She need the real thing. I feel you.
I want that.
Yeah.
I can't say it.
Especially now that we're at our age, and I know everybody up here has something they're trying to do, something big in life, so we need the right partner at this time, and no more time to waste.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want my partner already. Like, my net is cast pretty wide because I dip in 2 different ponds.
Right.
Right.
I'm ready.
Right.
That is amazing. Like I said, guys, if you have any love compatibility questions for us, also send us your love questions or anything that you want us to, I guess, talk on about as far as love and astrology. Send us those questions. DM us at LUL Magazine 13 on Instagram. So DM us all your questions. And I guess in closing,
well, we want to thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, and where can everybody follow you at?
You guys can follow me at TheClosetRatchet, RATCHET, and TheClosetRatchet.com. Shop my merch, CMOS.
Oh yeah,
all sorts of stuff.
We had a segment on that too. But okay, y'all. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Zodiac Mondayz. We hope to see you again. Like my co-host said, please send in any type of questions that you have about astrology. We're all learning from each other. We're trying to teach you guys some stuff. And thank you. We'll see y'all next time.